can't remember.
As it stands, there's been cases of insecurity right now.
Yeah, even in Abuja.
Yes, even in Abuja, but it's not as so bad that there has to be IDP camps in Abuja.
No, but that hasn't...
There's been cases of kidnappings in Abuja, you know, and all of that, but not the one you have the Lakurawa group invading houses, destroying properties, killing people, you know, and making away with their cattle and whatnot, and explode and explosive what do they call it? I don't know how to put it. Explosive devices that they've been using, and most of them are sophisticated. You know, so there has been case for concern in the north as it stands. What's your thoughts about this?
Well, I know that the primary responsibility of every government is to protect lives and property, and anything short of that is unacceptable. Okay, so that the government of Gombe State has come out to reassure the people that, you know, they will be alive to their responsibility, I think is a good one. But like I've said before, enough of all the talking. I mean, we want to see actual actions being carried out, you know. If there are still pockets of violence, criminal activities, cattle rustling and all of that, then the government has to see how they can either put it to a complete stop or reduce it to the barest minimum. Well, of a truth, Gombe State has not really been having what we used to hear in other states in the north. You know, like you just mentioned, the Lukurawa, or what they call themselves, you know, how they've taken over some states in the northwest and the northeastern states of the country. We hope that whatever they've said, whatever the government have said, you know, they will be true to their words and ensure that the people are safe, their property are safe, students can go to school, farmers can go to their farmlands and do their business without being harassed, attacked by marauding, you know, headsmen. And so these are some of the issues. So for me, it's a good one, you know, but it's not enough to talk. They should ensure that, you know, they match their words with actions.
Okay, I wanted to ask, what's your thoughts about the case of insecurity in the country? How do you think it affects the economic value and the aspects of agriculture and feeding?
Well, of course, there's no gainsaying that. You and I know the humongous, you know, adverse effects of the insecurity generally in the country. Like you just made mention of farmers not being able to go into their farmland freely as a result of the insecurity. And already we're having a shortfall in food production. Farmers are paying taxes to bandits in the north. Yes, farmers are paying taxes to bandits, non-state actors, running over millions of naira. So when you want to place us side by side with what will eventually be the output and what will be the cost of stable food products, you know, it's of course, it's going to be expensive. So for me, the government should understand that the more we're having cases of insecurity, especially in the north where most of our food products come from, we'll keep, you know, having to buy tomatoes, onions, and some of these staple foods that come from the north at a very high price. And already we are passing through a lot in this country. People can hardly, you know, fend for themselves and their families. So government should ensure that farmers are adequately protected so that, you know, there will be no reasons.
How would that be made possible? What steps do you feel is right? The right steps the government has to take to hold the insecurity going on in the north right now?
Well, it's simple, very simple. We're talking about modern day crime and criminality. And what I've come to realize is that the Nigerian government is fighting insecurity with the analog system. You understand? We need to apply more digital system in combating crime and criminality. We need to think of other ways of doing things. And basically it's technology. You know, that's our usual kinetic pattern, you know, deploying troops and going to the bushes with vehicles and both man and unmanned vehicles that would easily be detected by these marauding criminals, you know, bandits and terrorist groups.
Okay.
We can look at ways of bringing more modern technology, because if you feel that what you are doing before is not yielding the desired result,
it's not like
you
there
have to
has
change
not
your
been
ways.
results.
They haven't.
There haven't been any results, because we actually got reports that in Zamfara
No.
State, these troops rescued some kidnapped victims, and most of these bandits were apprehended. Does it mean that there has not been results, or there has been results but not as much as we wanted? So you are actually of the opinion that advanced technologies should be used.
Now let me just give you a simple example. In Niger State and Zamfara State today, there are notable, well-known bandits, kingpins. In fact, these are people who come out time and time again to dish out threats to the Nigerian state. One of such is the one called Toji Bello. How come up till this moment he has not been apprehended? If we have sincerity of purpose and intention, I'm not saying that the military, they are not doing their best.
Okay.
But perhaps their best is not good enough.
Okay.
Because as we speak, people are still paying taxes to bandits. Just in the news this morning, we heard that a bandit leader that kidnapped, I think, some farmers or so, you know, rejected 300 million naira that was paid to them as ransom.
In what states?
I think it should be in either Zamfara State, one of those states.
The breaking news today.
It's in the news. You can fact check.
Okay.
You know, 300 million naira was presented to them,
and it was rejected.
It was rejected. So imagine if they could have such audacity. It shows that they believe that they can do whatever they like with impunity, because if they have that fear that they can be, you know, caught up with at any time, I'm sure they would not have the temerity to be doing whatever they're doing, even in broad daylight. So for me, the only way that we can ensure that these things are put to a stop and reduced to the barest minimum is to see how we equip our security apparatus, the security architecture, with modern equipments used in fighting crime and criminality, as what is done in Europe and America.
Okay.
Nigeria is not the only country that we have, you know, criminal elements. But when you go to other parts of the world, they match them bumper to bumper. They don't allow them to sleep, because when you allow them that little opportunity to rest, they plan another attack. Because for them, they have the leeway to do whatever they are doing. The people are suffering. Farmers can't go to farm. So let us be serious as a government, as a people, in ensuring that we are fighting crime and criminality. Otherwise, what we are doing, for me, I call it lip service. And lip service will not give us the desired result. Okay.
Thank you. So in essence, in as much that there are steps to take to curb the insecurity in the north, it's not like the north is the only state that actually has a case of insecurity, because the south actually has cases. We hear about farmers going to farm and get abducted, and then the butchering cases and kidnapping
even
and all of that.
Travelers
attacks, you know, and all of that.
The bushes, so it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. Yeah. But the north is it's more like a center the epic center of insecurity, and this is where most of this foods we consume, the staple foods we consume, are gotten from. So the cases of insecurity should be handled, and adequate technologies should be used, you know, and that's the way forward. Thank you very much on that, Mufasa. Moving forward, we have that the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, on Monday reiterated the 10th Assembly's resolve to end the systematic barriers that hindered the full participation of women in political and public life through the ongoing constitution review. Speaking, Speaker Abbas, who gave the assurance in Abuja during a meeting held with speakers of the 36 State House of Assembly to commemorate the conclusion of the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, unveiled plans to hold a town hall meeting with women's group to discuss their priorities for the 2025 appropriation bill. Town hall meeting scheduled for Tuesday, today, 10th December 2024, is to ensure that their needs are reflected in the budget, adding that similar engagements with youth groups are planned for next week. Honorable Abbas maintained that the time has come for us to challenge stereotypes and misconceptions that have long hindered progress. Let us mainstream women's gender issue in our constitution, status, policies, and budgetary processes. By doing so, we will not only honor the contributions of Nigerian women, but also build a stronger, more inclusive society. To achieve the feat, he disclosed that the 10th Assembly has taken proactive steps to address these barriers. Recognizing past pitfalls, we have commenced the constitutional amendment process early to allow for extensive consultation and consensus building, while acknowledging that women are the cornerstone of our families and communities. He lamented that their political representation remains unacceptably low. This imbalance must change, not for improved statistics, but for the transformative value women bring to governance, leadership, and policy making. They said that women run the world. Do you agree with the thoughts from the speaker that women should be given the opportunity to engage in politics?
Well, has there ever been a time that women has not been given the opportunity?
A full opportunity,
no,
maybe.
There's nothing like half opportunity. You know, I always find it very difficult.
I'm sorry, do women hold most of this really respectable positions in politics?
No, they've had a shot at some of the positions before. You know, in Namibia today, they have a female president that was recently elected, and that was given to her. The only thing that is needed is for an equal playing field for all and sundry.
They say that women have been given the opportunity, but they just want to complain because they want to have everything.
Yes, they want to have everything.
Really?
You said it all. They complain a lot.
I'm not saying
I can't
anything.
remember any time
I'm
that...
not saying anything.
But I'm telling you now that women, they complain a lot, especially in this country.
You just said it.
You cannot get anything in a platter of gold. Everything in a platter of gold.
Okay.
Political offices and positions, you must show capacity. I think the only place where I think where I think has to be worked on is the rigors of trying to canvass for support at the level of the political parties. But then again, when you look at it, politics is politics. That you have made up your mind as a woman to want to go into politics, you should know how to play the game. So when you say, let us give this and that, legislate it upon and all of that, and, you know, there was a time, what else does the women folks, what else do they want? I'm asking you, a woman, so you should speak for them. For me, it is, of course, they said what a man can do, a woman can do it even better. We have women who have held positions of trust before. A woman has been speaker in this country, and you saw what happened. Of course, it's there. We have women who have also done well in what was given to them. Fantastic women, like late Dora Akunyili. You know, she was an NAFDAC DG and she did a lot of fantastic job there. You know, we have so many opportunities that be given to women. We have the likes of Ngozi Okojo-Iweala. She's doing well at the WTF. So for me, this shouldn't even be discussed at the floor of the House. We are talking about serious issues that has to be addressed. Issues of cost of living. The issues of industries that have gone moribund, that if they are activated, some of the women that they are claiming will equally be engaged. If as a woman you want to go into politics, just be prepared. Do what other men are doing so that, you get what you want. So for me, of course, I'm not against women. I love women. In fact, I love women a lot. So, but let us also, try to be reasonable. So you don't allow everything. Of course, in politics, you must be ready to, to meet people.
Okay,
you
meeting
must ready,
people.
Yes, you must be ready to go out at night.
So you made mention of the types of Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, who is actually doing very well. They occupy. Don't you think that has been a gender-based issue that has made women not to occupy most of those positions? That they actually feel that, or they have the qualities to occupy.
No, even these women you just mentioned, they developed themselves personally to the level that they became recognized. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
Of course, most of them were appointed. They were appointees. Apart from the whole appointees of governments. I can't remember any of them that got elective position. But the likes of Patricia Ete, that was one-time speaker, she was in the House, she was elected as speaker. She was a woman. And she embarrassed herself out of office. I'm not trying to be, be vindictive, but what I'm trying to say, in essence, is that as a woman that wants to be making exploit in that particular endeavor, you must study what they do and be prepared to do it. Yes, prepared to do it, so that you don't need to, you don't need to appeal to pity. Women themselves don't even support their own. I've seen, yes, there was a time a woman contested for presidency, not the, if let's assume that we have more women in the country today. Let's assume that we have 200 or okay, that's on it has 50 million women in this country. The woman did not get up to 20 votes. Does it mean that women don't even like to support their own? Let us even start from there. So, like I've said before, it is not enough for the National Assembly to say, oh, we want to make this easy for women. Women should also look at a situation where they can equally develop themselves, learn all the intrigues, all the patterns of how people get elected into office. If you want to be president, if you want to be governor, if you want to be deputy governor, even local government chairman. It doesn't sit well with me. What a man can do, they can do it even better. So we are expecting them to show capacity.
Mufasa, you talked about structural, there are processes that have been set that men can actually go through and women don't. How about the cases of godfatherism? And then where you have this person being put into a position because he has a godfather.
But we have women.
Most women actually have the capacity to occupy a particular position, but they don't get the opportunity because there is nobody that says, this is my person, puts the person here. Yes, sometimes they say the election, they get elected, they get appointed, but it has to come through the structure you just mentioned. If the structure isn't like they made it, do you think women will also have that opportunity to occupy the office that they merit? I don't want to, rephrase or try to take it in a personal situation because I'm a woman, but I just want to get your thoughts about that case.
No, but you see, now we are talking about the system. Of course, the system is something else. When you talk about having a godfather before you can, proceed, before you can achieve certain things in this country, it's not only the woman that it affects alone. there are other people who also have what it takes to be elected into office who are men, but because they don't have somebody to push them, they don't get the opportunity. But if you could remember what happened in the last general election where a woman almost became the governor of Adamawa State, you could see the influence that she was able to wield, you know. So basically, in as much as we are hoping that one day we'll have a near perfect system where you don't even need a godfather to be elected into office. But even now, we have godmothers, you know, who are equally there to help people, you know. But I believe that if a woman has what it takes, you know, and the woman enjoys the support of her people, you know, no matter how the influence that whatever godfather thinks he has, you know, when the people come out to say this is what we want, of course that woman must have shown to the people that I have what it takes to lead you people. There's nothing that can stop that kind of a person, be it a man or a woman.
Okay.
All you just need is to build that confidence in the people, develop yourself to that extent that it becomes very difficult for the system to work against you. I'm sure you get it. It's not about getting advantages, undue advantages from the system because you're a woman and all of that. That for me is like you appealing to pity, and if that is the case, then you don't even have what it takes to be elected into office.
Thank you, Mufasa. Thank you so much. We have that the United Kingdom has issued around 30,000 visas to Nigerians over the past few years. According to the British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Richard Montgomery describes the relationship between Nigeria and the UK as robust, emphasizing that Nigeria is one of the major beneficiaries of the UK's post-Brexit migration policies. Montgomery, addressed claims of harsh immigration policies, asserting that the UK's visa policy have been favorable to Nigerians. He noted that the number of work visas granted to Nigerians has increased significantly from 10,000 to 20,000 annually a few years ago to 80,000 to 90,000 in recent years. He also highlighted the contributions of Nigerians in the UK, particularly in sectors such as social care, describing their roles as vital. The number of people getting visas to go to the UK has gone from something like 10,000 to 20,000 about 6 years or 7 years ago to 19,000, 80,000 to 90,000 a year, like I said. The envoy said that, but admitted that student numbers are down. Nigerians, he added, accounts for approximately 10% of all visas issued by the UK in the past 2 years. Although he acknowledged a decline in the number of Nigerian students studying in the UK, he also underscored the strong ties between the two nations, which he said surpasses Nigerians' visas relationship with other countries. Do you have a plan to Japan soon?
Well, I really don't have a plan.
You don't have a plan? You don't want to leave? Do you have a plan to study out of the country?
No, well, of course, there are people who see that as a big opportunity, but unless there is a grave need for me to leave and perhaps go and do something. But I really do not see this as something that we should be celebrating as a country, because if the country is working okay for Nigerians, will not be having this huge number of people, you know, leaving the country. Okay, we are complaining that there's a huge brain drain. You know, doctors, health workers are leaving this country to other countries of the world. You know, so it's not something that, you know, we should be happy about. I don't know the number of visas that Nigerians are giving to British or foreign nationals, you know, to come into this country. Now we are celebrating our own living at the shores of this country. What does that tell you? That the country is not working. And I think it's quite shameful and embarrassing that, you know, the government officials, leaders, don't even take these things seriously. If everybody leaves, who is going to make this country better for us? Because we have no other country to call our own. So for me, this should be a wake-up call even though we know that we have leaders who are irresponsible and irresponsive, things like this don't bother them. But with time, we'll begin to understand the consequences of this kind of massive, migration from this country to other countries, because those countries are getting benefits. They use our people to improve and better their economy, because it's improving their labor force.
Okay.
And whereas we're having a major brain drain in this country, so it's quite unfortunate.
Thank you, Mufasa. We would have continued, but we do not have time on our side, and we would love to do this with you tomorrow. And thank you. This is where we wrap it up on this episode of Blowout. Thank you, Mufasa, for gracing your show, your presence with the show. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Or gracing your guest show, your guest presence.
I'm everything.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Thank you very much.
It's still an honor to be here.
Thank you so much. We are open for advert placements, bookings, and commercials. You can connect with us on all our ATN socials on Facebook and YouTube, on Atlantic Television Network, on Instagram and TikTok on Atlantic TV Network 1, on Twitter on Atlantic TV Net, which is live on our website at www.atlantic.org.tv. Peace and progress peace and grace are the pathways to progress. Open conversation comes shortly. Don't go away. Thank you for watching. I am Chidima Wadike. Do have a beautiful day.